Hi guys, today we'll be talking about a few case studies from certain buyers that I've come across, and then I think it'll be a good thing for us to learn the mistakes of others so that we avoid some costly mistakes on our own lah. And so as usual, disclaimer before I continue today, whatever I share today is just based on my own point of view and own research and also own experiences. So make sure to do your own due diligence before you go ahead. And yep, that is all. Next, so this is the typical trend that I tend to see nowadays in buyers. They I'm pretty sure most of you will be able to tell what this photo actually means, right? The emperor's new clothes. Of course, the character seems to have a little bit of resemblance to certain characters in real life, but that's not the point. The point is that it seems that quite a lot of buyers nowadays, they want people to tell them what they want to hear, but people don't tell them what they want to hear. People tell them the facts, tell them the truth, tell them the hard numbers. They cannot take it. They just want, everything must be, the location that I want. Must be the price that I want. Must be this and that. Everything must suit my criteria. And then okay, if you tell them, okay, I think this is the potential of this place. I don't think it's gonna go any higher. No, I don't think this is so. They'll wait for some other people to come and tell them, and rather sing them the song that they want to hear, and then paint them the picture they want to see, and then eventually then they make the purchase, and then a few years down the road we will see what happened lah. So for those of you who still don't understand this picture, basically just telling this guy, I'm not gonna name the guy, the politician, that he thinks that he's wearing the best clothes, but then apparently he's not. I'm not gonna talk about the whole story of the Emperor's News clothes, so those people who are curious, go and read yourself. Okay, so the first one I had one of them. I'm going to share four case studies according to four chronological orders. Some may have bought the exact unit, some may have not. I have no idea because I didn't service them, because I didn't believe in what they were going for. Because to me, as long as it doesn't make sense, financial sense, then by all means go ahead, go for yourself. Because I don't want to be the one ultimately to blame. If you are the one that make money, good for you. If you are the one that actually lose money, I'm not the one that actually told you about it. I wasn't the one that sell you the so-called potential. So that one is not my fault. Okay, so this one is the first one. They talk about the new MRT opening, the what do you call it? The brown line, right? The brown line. And then or there will be capital appreciation because the MRT comes in. Well, let's see. So this guy bought on not sure whether is it the same guy lah. So anyway, 4th of August, they were looking at this unit, and then this one is not like in front of the MRT, but rather near generally. But bought at this size and then this price 1.88 mil. So let's see what happens today. Fast forward 1.5 years, because this is like what, August till now is about 1 year, 1.5 years, right? So 1.5 years, they made on paper, all these, remember, all these are estimates, are not super duper accurate, because there can be a lot of fluctuations when it comes to the selling process. It can be the way you sell it, the condition of the place, and then a lot of other factors. So all these are just indication on paper, but we use it for fair comparison purposes according to this edge fair value lah, so that we standardize lah. If not, then because sometimes it's very, very hard for you to compare houses, because it's very hard. There is too many varying conditions, such as the state of the place, blah blah blah, etc. Anyway, 1.5 years, they see 90K, which is not too shabby. But if you consider this is a resale place, and then they buy this size, likely their renovation is gonna be 100K or more. So I really don't think they are above the water. They are very likely under the water after 1.5 years. But on the other hand, if they would have heed my advice and recommendation at that point, well, this was 4th of August, right? And that time before that, I was really telling them, hey, you should consider this particular place. And then based on this budget, you see just now there was 1.88. And then if that guy managed to get this particular unit, and then today we fast forward 1.5 years later, how much would it have been worth? 1.82, 1.829. to 2.22, which is a gain of 391,000 in 1.5 years there. Then this guy is not even able to sell yet. Okay, so you can see the difference between somebody who wants that supposedly more superior location, has a MRT that is probably much more accessible. But if this is okay for you, you want to, because of your whatever factor, you want it now, you want the MRT nearby, you want your amenities, blah, 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 compared to something that is not so nice in terms of that aspect, then is 300K in 1.5 years something that you can swallow? I don't know. For me, I really don't see it. But at that point, I thought this was definitely a much better buy. But to them, it's not really the case. So, well, let's see. I think easily for me, 300K, I would have taken that 300K or walk away. That would be a much better choice for me. Even if, let's say you talk about inconvenience, I can easily, 300K, come on, I can afford like 2 cars now. Okay, that's the second one. They were talking about the size of the place, the room, the size of the place, and then the number of rooms matter, and then it has to be brand new, and then it's gonna be completed soon, so that's why it's not gonna be too much of a waiting time. And I told them not to go ahead, but they choose to go ahead. So they bought this particular unit at 1.68 and this kind of size. Then they want also called family, whatever. Okay, then we fast forward. This was back in December 2021. So December 2021, and this one was just done. You can see the estimate valuation is about 1.7 mil, which is a gain of 20,000 in 1 year, 3 months. Honestly, I think my previous HDB resale that I sold is probably gain probably way more on paper than this lah. Later I'll show you an example lah. So unfortunately for this person, in that case previously, if they would have listened to the advice and then went ahead with the recommendations, then they would have, you see this one is about, just now they get 1.68, right? So this one is just a little bit lower than this particular unit, 1.667. Today, the paper gain in 1 year, 3 months would have been 200 plus thousand. Right, that's quite a bit of difference. 200 plus thousand versus 20,000, that's easily 10 times. And how much more useful the money would have been. Okay, at that point, you'll be thinking, hey, last time like that, here and there, who would have known? It would have known. I think it would have been a simple, not to say estimate, it's a rather simple, educated, I would not say a speculation, educated choice at that point. If you had done up your numbers, you've done your due diligence, and all these would have been much easier to figure out. Anyway, let's move on. The third one, so-called, is a good location. Then they want this, they want that, blah, blah, blah. Then this was on 10th of February. This guy bought this in particular unit at 2.4 plus mil. And they were telling me, because of this place, they like it so much because of the convenience, blah, 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 near the current base. And then they are okay to afford 2.4 plus and kind of quantum. But if they were to look at the investment unit, they will be looking at a much smaller one, probably about 1.7, 1.8. So I'm like, fine, I personally still prefer to go for the investment route. But for them, they still prefer to go ahead. And let's see today, 10th of February 2022, that's like more than 1 year ago. We fast forward to 1 year, 1 month later, they've seen a gain of 38,000. And just now, as I was saying, my previous place, the HDB, by the way, it's just a 4-room HDB. It would have appreciated by $24,000 within a span of less than 1 year. For apologies, I couldn't get the same comparison because I accidentally deleted all this. Somehow I managed to retrieve in my email. So I accidentally deleted. I think there's no way to track back lah. So I couldn't get back the February update. But I'm pretty certain that the February, if you compare, is likely going to be more than 38,000. Okay, but unfortunately, for this 2.4 mil condo, there's going to be a lot more difference because your buy stamp duty is going to be a lot more painful. And then this one, buy stamp duty is 10 plus thousand, but appreciation wise is almost the same within the same period of time. Okay, well, let's see. On the other hand, if they chose to go for the investment unit at that point, given that much lower budget that they were giving me. This would have been, okay, this is the same unit. I'm not going to cheat you guys. This is the same exact unit that we were looking at. So 200 plus thousand in 1 year, 1 month. All right, 200 plus thousand versus, oh, just nice, 238 versus 38. I just realized about this. So it's exactly 200,000 more in terms of capital appreciation. Well, there goes another 200K to the smart investor. So congratulations to this guy who managed to get it. The other one was that, location and convenience matters to this person, and then they decided to choose this unit. On May, I told them not to go ahead, but they still decided to go ahead. So I'm like, fine, you do whatever you want as long as you like it. You don't regret your choices lah. As long as you love the location, you stay in it. You don't expect to make money. That's exactly what I told them. And then true enough, through this period of time, this half year, the market moved a lot, even for HDB. But somehow, I remember these two stacks, although they are slightly different stacks, but they are facing about pretty much about the same. Size and layout, I think if I'm not, it's the same. This is a higher floor, much higher floor, transacted at a lower price when the market is going up, but somehow this one is going down, unfortunately. So let's see the value today. Last year, May, it was transacted at this price. So on the PSM wise, it seems low, but the problem is it was a rather obvious reason why it was low. And then fast forward 1 year later, it is about, okay, less than 1 year. Now it's like March. So 10 months later, it is valued at, on paper, minus 50,000 in a single year. Minus. So while the rest of the market has moved, this one actually went down. I think that is pretty demoralizing, considering you still have to do renovation on such an old development. Okay, well, and at that point, if she had chose to go ahead with the same quantum, although she was likely to go ahead for a higher quantum, but if she chose to go ahead with the same quantum, then this one would have been able to look at a appreciation of 240,000 in a single year. So you see, we have very different case studies, but they all pretty much the same results because they choose to die believe in what they want to hear, they want to see, especially because when people are able to afford condos, they are able to afford it, especially this slightly higher quantum condos, they are pretty much good in their own career. So maybe they have that kind of confidence, and they have that kind of confidence. They come to the real estate market. Hey, I'm good at my job, so I'm going to come to real estate, and then look a few articles, learn about it a few months, and then have limited access to data, limited access to data analyzing here and there, and then they form their own opinion, and then they decided, okay, wow, the market is hot, then I should just jump ahead and go on with this. And I think the market should still go out in my favor and then help me to make money. And that is the problem when you have that false sense of confidence in a field that is not your expertise, then it is very easy for you to fall for the wrong trap. Okay, all right. Okay, my bad. It's very easy for you to even fall into a trap. There is no such thing as a wrong trap. It's the trap is trap. So unfortunately for these guys, well, we'll see. And then there's the other one. Recently, I had a good buddy. He kind of tell me he just went to he just went to his buddy's place, and then they were complaining like, oh, wow, how blah 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 about this. And then this one was previously new launch, and by the way, this one is free code, by the way, but to me, it was quite obvious that this was going on a downtrend. And even if I really don't believe that it will stay at this price, I think it should probably go and hover around this area. But anyway, as long as it hovers around the area, then it's pretty much game over for those people who are looking to make money, because you're likely going to be losing money. Okay, but the problem is people get the typical things on, is D23 or freehold in blah 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 blah, compared to the upcoming OCR, they are 9 years, then how much they're selling and how much, and this one is selling at the steel, a typical crap that they hear in show flat, which I totally sometimes when you go through so much data, it's very, very hard. It's very, very fast that once I hear somebody say a certain line, it's like you don't even process. It's like straight away, the thing is like a reaction. It touches your nerve. You know this person is talking bullshit. So obviously I know about all this, but well, people don't believe in that. So I think this is quite a expected trend that I'm seeing for this particular development. Now, of course, we are talking about paper gains. Is all realized for those of you who choose to, pick on this, say that this one, all these are not transacted. Yes, they are not transacted, but I'm very, very, very certain these few units that I selected previously, they will eventually be able to transact at higher PSF than those that I show you in the upcoming few years. Wouldn't even say like 10 years, 5 years, it's going to be way shorter than that. I'm very confident it will be like this. But the problem is it requires a lot of logic, it requires a lot of emotion-free kind of decision-making process, because too many times people come to me, hey, I want to buy because I'm concerned about losing money, I'm concerned about investment. But their thought process very different. Now, once they go into the show fair or haven't go into the show fair, they think about, having to live in this place. This place is something that is not familiar to me. Like I mentioned a lot of times before, I stay in central area. I mean, like literally center of Singapore. I don't recognize, to me lah, I don't recognize CBD as like central area, because to me, I'm literally in the center of Singapore for like the first 30 plus years of my life. Then you're telling me that Willow is central, but that is my own opinion. So to me, that is the south side of Singapore. I live literally in the center of Singapore, so I know how convenient it is to go to various parts of Singapore. But now I'm moving towards another part of Singapore, and to me, it's something that I totally did not expect. But to me, I follow the numbers because I choose to be emotionless. It's because I know for sure that when you lose money, or rather you don't make money, you are losing our opportunity cost. So every 5 years that you are losing out on, people would have made 300-400K, and if there are two names, they can easily make 600-700K, but you're not. And why are you working so hard today? We're going for a monthly salary bonus. Yes, it can be quite a lot of money, but the amount that you save in a single year, how much is it? And without actually actively saving, somebody may be having a more luxurious lifestyle. You may be, bitching behind their back, saying that, their lifestyle is like this, not sustainable. But they themselves may be making very good decisions on the real estate end, and using that real estate money to fund their lifestyle, and at the same time saving their monies for their own future retirement needs. So you never know what these guys are doing. And maybe that's why some of them can keep having to afford that kind of lifestyle, because when it comes to investment in property, they can be very, very rational people. But on the other hand, there are a lot of people who, this agent, like this, always tell me to get this one, not good, because I don't like this one, here and there. So they always complain about bad advice, but eventually it's because eventually when they hear the good advice, they don't know how to filter, and they end up making a wrong decision, and then they blame people. Of course, I will say a large, large, large majority of the agents in this industry have no idea what the hell are they talking about, because their boss tell me, well, my boss told me to do this, my boss told me profit is a bonus, that's why I should suck down and just tell the person that making money is just a bonus. No, it shouldn't be that way. If you choose to be emotionless, you choose to look at the numbers purely, you can easily still find, not say a lot, there are still quite a few opportunity for you to enter the market at a quite good decent price. I wouldn't say fire sale price. It is not fair to say a fire sale price, because the market is still, after all, still filled with quite some people who are logical. So when they see a real fire sale, they would have gotten in already. But you yourself, when people throw into a fire sale, what is your first doubt? This one is fire sale. This may not be a good item. This may not be a good product. So maybe that's why it's fire sale, and that's why I shouldn't be getting into it. But you yourself have been waiting on the sidelines, waiting for the fire sale that never ever came. And when it finally came, you kind of doubt it. So these are the person that have been sitting on the market, sitting on the fence for years and years and years, and then they will look back once they price out the market that, last night I should have this, last night I should have that. Because literally I just met another client yesterday. Can tell me, wow, Boon I should just now very cheap. Because by, do you even know that why is it selling at this kind of price today? That even though many others are like that, then you know how much Marina One is selling. I think nobody's gonna doubt the location, like how good the location of Marina One is. But why is it today selling at this price? There is a real reason why behind it. Okay, that will be all we have for today. And so make sure you stay safe and seek the right advice if you ever need to stay rational. Okay, and then see you guys. Bye bye.